Welcome to Cost Down Consulting's presentation, How to Improve the Performance of Trucking Company Executives. My name is Joe White. I'll begin by asking you two questions. Are you happy with the performance of your executive group, those vice presidents and department heads that manage the functional areas of your company? Do you believe profitability at your company could be significantly higher if executive performance improved? If you believe you have opportunity to improve the performance of your executives and your profitability, then this presentation will help. In it, I will explain how to use an executive performance management program to improve both executive performance and profitability. I hope you find this presentation of value. Here is an example of a typical trucking company's executive group. We have a Vice President of Sales, VP of Operations, VP of Finance, VP of Maintenance, and VP of HR. Obviously, depending on the size and type of your trucking company, your executive group could be structured differently. In addition to a title, each member of the executive group has a functional area of responsibility. In other words, a specific area of the company's operation they are responsible for. The Vice President of Sales is responsible for the freight network, the VP of Operations for driver and fleet productivity and for customer service, the VP of Finance for analysis and reporting, and so on. The value of a performance management program for executives is that it defines the specific responsibilities, activities, and bonus compensation that best support the highest possible level of performance in an executive's functional area of responsibility. When an executive's responsibilities, activities, and bonus compensation are not sharply focused towards his or her assigned functional area of responsibility, a performance gap develops. That performance gap is the difference between the actual and desired performance of that executive. When an executive does have a performance gap, it disseminates through his or her department, affecting all assigned employees. To explain how to eliminate a performance gap, we will use the position of Vice President of Sales with a functional area of responsibility for freight network as our example. Commonly assigned responsibilities of a traditional Vice President of Sales include growing revenue, managing customer relations, and managing the sales team. Of these, the most commonly emphasized responsibility is growing revenue. After all, the word sales is in this executive's title. Since sales is the emphasis, the success of a VP of sales is often measured in terms of new business brought into the company. However, increased revenue does not guarantee improved profitability. Adding new customers and locations could actually decrease key performance metrics such as revenue per mile, loaded mile percentage, driver delays, and driver turnover. This simple example of a freight network should illustrate the point. The blue dots are existing customers, while the red dots are new customers added by the VP of Sales. Since most of the new locations are outside of the existing freight network, they could actually decrease overall revenue per mile and laden mile percentage. Additionally, customer location affects driver home time, which has a large influence on retention, and it affects the company's ability to recruit in a specific geographic area. Revenue growth by itself does not provide freight network optimization or increase profitability. Yet revenue growth is the metric most often used to measure and reward the performance of a vice president of sales. Since the functional area of responsibility for a vice president of sales is freight network, his goals should be focused on freight network optimization. When developing an executive performance management program, you must first lay the foundation by detailing specifically what the desired end results are for each functional area. Using the vice president of sales example, we want our freight network to be optimized. So let's define what an optimized network includes. Individual trucking company definitions of an optimized freight network will vary, but for our discussion, the elements of an optimized freight network include high revenue per mile, minimal empty miles, strategic revenue growth based on network fit, minimal driver delays. For regional and long-haul operation, the network supports driver home time and recruiting, has a balanced and diverse customer portfolio. Now, let's compare these elements to the responsibilities of our traditional vice president of sales. As you can see, with the exception of revenue growth, defined responsibilities have little to do with actually optimizing the freight network. In this example, it's easy to understand why there is an executive performance gap in the functional area of freight network. And keep in mind, all employees assigned to and working for the vice president of sales will share his performance gap. Performance gaps can be closed through use of an executive performance management program comprised of 3 basic steps. The first step is to define each executive's desired results or goals within his functional area of responsibility. In the case of a VP of sales, we already identified the elements of an optimized freight network, so these are in effect the desired results of his performance. We simply need to assign specific goals, often called key performance indicators or KPIs, to each element. This process provides the executive precise performance targets, each of which is aligned to his functional area of responsibility, in this case, the freight network. Step 2 of our executive performance management program is to define the best activities our VP of sales should use to make his new goals. Defining best activities for executives is a collaborative effort. While individual executives have unique functional areas of responsibility, they usually need the support of other department heads and executives to be successful. In this example, we are defining the best activities to minimize empty miles in the network. Best activity number 1 has 4 action items. The first is to identify bad fit customers. As you can see, this action item is actually assigned to the operations and finance department heads. Operations personnel are in the best position to identify empty lanes and high deadhead areas as they manage drivers and load assignments daily. The finance department is involved as they can run deadhead reports to help with the analysis. Bad fit customers will be tracked for 3 months to determine by customer the total cost and total empty miles associated with each location. This is assigned to the finance department as they are best equipped to collect the data and perform the cost analysis. Once the data is compiled, sales will work with finance to develop a business case on the cost of these locations. Once that is completed, the vice president of sales will take the business case to the customers and ask for relief. The collaborative effort used to define best activities for one executive's functional area of responsibility
will often help define another executive's responsibilities. In the case of this example, we might add to the VP of Finance's responsibilities developing business cases for the sales VP to help with minimizing empty miles and capturing other network improvements. The final step in an executive performance management program is to develop a job description and bonus plan to support our Vice President of Sales redefined responsibilities. In the box on the left, we have a traditional job description example for a VP of Sales. The Vice President of Sales is directly responsible for the company's revenue growth and will supervise, motivate, and manage all the sales teams to boost total revenue. On the right, we have our revised job description and job title based on our results from the first two steps of our Executive Performance Management Program. The Vice President of Network Optimization is directly responsible for optimizing the company's freight network through collaboration with department heads at XYZ Trucking and negotiations with customers. The Vice President will supervise, motivate, and manage all the sales teams to optimize the freight network. These job description differences should highlight the close the gap value of a performance management program for executives. After all, which of these two executives do you think would most improve freight network and bottom line performance at your company? We want to support the newly defined goals for our VP of Network Optimization with a bonus program that rewards achieving goals that actually improve the network. Unlike the traditional VP of Sales position that was rewarded mainly on revenue growth, our VP of Network Optimization has a bonus opportunity weighted across the 7 goals we established for improving network performance. The company owner, CEO, or president can weight each of these goals based on their current importance to company strategy and profitability. To review, a performance management program for executives defines the specific responsibilities, activities, and bonus compensation that best support the highest possible level of performance in an executive's functional area of responsibility. Hopefully, this presentation has helped you to understand how this program works and the value it will add to your company's bottom line.
Thank you for viewing Cost Down Consulting's training presentation, How to Improve the Performance of Trucking Company Executives. Before leaving, I'd like to emphasize one key point. When you close the performance gap of your executive group, you are in effect closing the performance gaps of all the employees in the organization that report to those executives. That's a powerful opportunity to improve the profitability of your company. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call.